So that is the Mac App Store. And when you get your apps, you're going to have a single place to put them, which is the Launchpad. Again, home screens for your apps, just like on the iPad. So that's the first three. And the last three we're doing as well, and I think you can imagine those. So there's one other thing we'd like to show you today. We have these 4 cool inventions, or things we do in Mac OS X. Expose, a great way to find your windows and do window management when you have lots of windows open. Dashboard, a great way to get to widgets instantly. Full screen apps, which we've talked about, and spaces, if you want to create more than one workspace and move between them rapidly. And this is great, but as we've added full screen apps now, we said, you know, we have 4 of these things. Wouldn't it be great to unify them all? And so we've done that in something we call Mission Control. It's a way to view everything running on your Mac and instantly navigate to anywhere. So what we'd like to do now is, even though we have tons of new features in line, we've picked out a few of them, and we'd like to give you a sneak peek today. And to do that, I'd like to ask Craig Federighi, who's our Vice President of Engineering for Mac OS X, to come give us a demo.
All right. Well, thank you, Steve.
Thanks, Craig.
Well, hello. Oh, wow. Thank you. So I'm absolutely thrilled to give you this sneak peek of just a few of the many features coming in Mac OS X Lion. And I'd like to start with the App Store. So the App Store, with the App Store, we've taken everything that users love about the App Store for the iPad, and we've brought it to the Mac. I can get to the App Store right here on my dock. See on the featured page, I have access to the new and noteworthy applications on the store. I see what's hot, staff favorites, great way to track what's going on. Across the top, I also have top charts. Here I can see the top paid and the top free apps currently on the store. Over here in categories, I get a great place to go if I'm looking for something specific, for instance, education apps for the kids. And finally, we have updates. The App Store is tracking all of the apps you've downloaded on your Mac, and when they have new versions available, they're listed right here. And if you want to, you can select one, or with a single click on Update All, you can bring your Mac entirely up to date. Well, next I want to show you just how easy it is to purchase and install a new app using the App Store. I'm going to go back to the featured page, and I'd like to install Pages. I don't have Pages on this machine right now. So I'm going to go to the product overview page. You see I get this great description. I get these gorgeous screenshots. Help me make sure I'm buying the right thing. I get these customer ratings and reviews. It's really helpful to make sure I'm making the right decision. And when I'm ready to purchase, it's just one click on the Buy button. You'll see the app icon actually lifts up and flies out of the App Store down to my dock. Now, this is a real App Store app speaking the real protocol to a real server and downloading a real copy of Pages to my machine. And you see installation has never been easier. With just a click, I'm running my newly purchased application and creating my first Pages document. It's just that easy with the App Store. So that's the Mac App Store. We think developers and users alike are really going to love it. So next up is the Launchpad. Launchpad is a super convenient way to organize and launch all the apps you have on your Mac. See it right here in my dock. With a click, Launchpad leaps forward to this beautiful full screen grid of my apps. If I want to launch something, let's say dictionary, it's just a click. And Launchpad fades back, my app fades forward. I can also organize really conveniently here in Launchpad. You see we have iPad-style pages. So with a multi-touch gesture on my mouse or trackpad, I can just flick my way to other applications, for instance, my productivity apps, my games, so forth. Really, really easy. I also can organize my apps within these pages. So if I want to move iTunes, let's say, up here to the top, I do what a Mac user would expect. I click and drag, everything gets out of the way, I let go, and I've reorganized. Really nice. I also can create folders, just like on iOS. So let's say I want to create a productivity folder. I just pick up Keynote, drag it on top of Numbers, let go, and I have a folder. I can add my new Pages, pick it up, drop it. Just like that, I've created a folder. So that is Launchpad coming in Lion. Next up, full screen apps. We've brought the immersive experience of apps on the iPad to the Mac, and we provided a great new way to work with apps in full screen. I'm going to demonstrate by opening a PDF. So here we have Preview open with a PDF, looks nice. But now, because in Lion full screen is integrated, I can click on a standard control and it sweeps open into a gorgeous full screen view, facing Pages view. When I'm in here, I then can use gestures to move between the pages of the PDF. Really convenient. But what's really great about full screen in Lion is that I don't have to leave full screen if I want to go work on something else. I can do a simple multi-touch gesture on my mouse or trackpad, and I'm right back at my desktop. And when I want to get back to that full screen app, I just gesture back. Super simple. Let's take another app full screen, in this case, iPhoto. Now, Phil demonstrated earlier that iPhoto has this fantastic full screen experience. I can now get to it with a standard control. I'm now in full screen iPhoto. And this is how I'll probably want to work in this app all the time. But if I want to get back to my preview document, I just flick. Want to get back to my desktop? Same thing. And we've even made Dashboard accessible in the same way. So flick to the left of my desktop, and I have access to all of my widgets. Super simple. Now, of course, as a Mac user, I also love working with Windows. So I'm going to bring, and I mean Windows, not Windows. So I'm going to open up some windows. We have App Store here. I'm going to open up the App Store, Safari, iCal, iTunes, and let's say a Pages document here. So I can, of course, flick between these different experiences here like this, and that's really convenient. But we've made it even better. What we've done is unified Windows, full screen apps, Dashboard, and even Spaces into a single place, a place where you can get at anything on your Mac from wherever you are. And we call that place Mission Control. I'm going to take you there right now. With a gesture on my trackpad, I enter Mission Control. We see I have a beautiful expose view of all of my windows. Across the top here, I get my full screen apps, my dashboard, and my desktop. And along the bottom, my dock, so I can get at all my apps. With a click, I can get to anywhere. If I want to get to iPhoto, I just click, and I'm taken right there. With a gesture, with a gesture, I'm back in Mission Control. I can go to Preview and back, or back to my desktop. Super simple. And because we have this great expose, if I'm looking for a window and it's covered up in my desktop clutter, I can go to that same place. So let's say I want to find that App Store window. I can just flick in, and you see there's App Store right there, and it's clustered by app, so it's really easy to find. I click, and it comes forward. Now, we've made expose even better in Lion, because these app clusters take multiple windows from the same app and bring them together. And then if I want to peek and see a particular window, maybe to get a better look before picking my particular Safari window, I just flick open, I can pick the window I want, and bring it right to the front. So that is Mission Control, and that's your sneak peek of just a few features coming in OS X Lion. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Craig. We're really excited about Lion. We think bringing some of these things back to the Mac and coming up with some very fresh new things like Mission Control is going to really delight Mac users. So again, a whole new way of getting apps with the App Store, of finding and launching apps with Launchpad, being able to work in full screen and move between full screen apps effortlessly, and then moving back to your Windows, and of course, Mission Control. And again, I wish we had another hour and a half to show you more, but we'll unveil this over time as we get closer to releasing it. Our plan is to release Lion this summer, summer 2011. And we are on schedule for that. We're feeling real good about it. So that is Mac OS X Lion. Now, I want to go back and talk for a minute about the App Store. The Mac App Store is we think, going to be really great for our users, and we don't want to wait for Lion. So we've decided that we're going to put out the Mac App Store on Snow Leopard, and we're going to open it within 90 days. The Mac App Store is going to open within 90 days from today, and developers can go to our website and learn all about it today. And we are going to be accepting app submissions from developers in November. That's next month for the store that's going to open within 90 days. So we're very excited about that. And that is Lion, the App Store opening with 90 days. And again, back to the Mac. Let me review some of the things we talked about today. Tim took us through the state of the Mac. The Mac is a third of our revenue. We pay a lot of attention to it. We love the Mac. We're investing heavily in the Mac. It's a $22 billion business, which if it was a standalone business, would be a rather large business in the Fortune 500. Our retail market share has topped 20% for the first time in a long while. And we continue to invest in our retail stores. We couldn't be happier with the performance of them and how they're bringing more and more people into the Mac tent. iLife 11, phenomenal new applications. iPhoto 11, full screen mode, better books, all new letterpress cards. iMovie 11, you can imagine how we're all going to use this. And GarageBand, giving those millions and millions of GarageBand users even cooler things they can do now with their compositions and in learning how to play instruments. FaceTime on Mac, so that the tens of millions of Mac users can now FaceTime with our mobile devices. We think this is going to be very popular. And Lion, coming this summer with amazing features like Mission Control, the Launchpad, and the App Store, and with the App Store opening within 90 days from today. So these are the things that we wanted to share with you today. We're really excited about them. But there is one more thing. And that one more thing really comes back to our theme for today, which is back to the Mac. You know, we talked about this virtuous circle with Mac OS X helping to create iOS for our devices, that maturing, being on the iPod as well, and now being inspired by that, bringing some of that back to Mac OS X. But just like that philosophy has some benefit in our software, it can also have some benefit in our hardware. What would happen if a MacBook met an iPad? There's a lot to be inspired about there as well. Well, what are some of those things? An iPad has Instant On. Right? That's pretty rare for a notebook. Great battery life. Amazing standby time. 30-day standby time. Solid state storage. So there's no optical or hard drives. And it's thinner and lighter, which means it's even more mobile. These are some great things for notebooks. And so we asked ourselves, what would happen if a MacBook and an iPad hooked up? Well, this is the result. It's one of the most amazing things we've ever created. It is our new MacBook Air, and we think it's the future of notebooks. We're really excited about this. It is gorgeous. Let me just show you a few beautiful shots of it. It's like nothing we've ever created before, and it's really stunning. And it's really small. It's amazingly thin. At its thickest point, it is 0.6